So this is the story of Tampa Bay traffic connecting community around a common complaint, because who likes traffic other than I do? So Tampa Bay traffic started out of what I call traffic girl guilt. And what that means is there are a couple of things that I really need to try to get into all of my traffic reports. Those are the things that are going to affect the largest number of viewers at one time. And those are, of course, the big accidents, live pictures from my Florida Department of Transportation cameras, my helicopter pilot, also drive times, how big of a delay am I facing this morning, and the Bay Area bridges. In fact, a couple of people, David Carr included, had asked, what's the Howard Franklin like on my way back to the airport? Here's the problem. Most of my traffic reports range from 35 to 55 seconds. I've been talking now for about 50 seconds. So I would have my producer in my ear telling me to wrap. But what if you live in an area that's not on one of those major roadways? If you have an accident that's going to shut down your road, it's still a problem, but I'm not going to be able to tell you about it. I only have 8.5 minutes out of a 24-hour day to be live on TV talking. So that's where at Tampa Bay Traffic comes in. And this is where I'm sharing those accident reports, all of them, not just the ones that are affecting the major roadways, and showing people what I'm seeing. And I think this goes into what Sri was talking about, and that's the physical and the digital. This is an FDOT camera picture of a brush fire that shut down one of our major interstates here in Tampa. I'm also watching my cameras and seeing the crazy stuff that you people are doing on the roadways. And this happened when I wasn't live on air, but I wanted people to see what your fellow drivers were doing, so I tweeted it.
Scary swerve that people are doing. So here's the accident right here, 275. Looks like there's some debris. So these folks are going around the debris, almost hitting those cars, and then back into traffic.
Check out this big white truck.
Somebody is going to get hit. Look at this.
I see the guy standing over there.
In.
Really? Come on. So I tweeted about the move over law, and that requires that when there's an accident that you move over at least one lane away from that crash, or you slow to 20 miles per hour below the speed limit. So this was an opportunity for me to show people, but also to educate people and let them know, you know, this is what needs to happen in this case. I'm also sharing the photos that come to me from the photojournalist that I work most closely with. His name is Van Williams. He works overnight, and he sent me this photo of a fatal crash that shut down a roadway. So I tweeted the picture and let folks know I'd have a live report coming up on our 5 o'clock newscast. Twitter also gives me the opportunity to follow a developing story. In my case, it's a developing traffic story. I had a crash at the downtown junction in Tampa, a major roadway, but I was hearing that there might have been a law enforcement officer vehicle involved in a second accident at that location. Van, our photojournalist, was already on scene gathering video of the first accident, so I let my followers know that if you want to see that video, I'm going to have it coming up at 5:30 on our newscast. But even before my next live report, I got this update from Tampa Police confirming, yes, one of our police officers was involved in that accident, but he's okay. And then shortly after that, I was able to tweet a picture from the scene of that police cruiser involved in the crash. Another resource that I'm sharing insight from is Captain Al. He's the pilot of Action Air 1, and he really provides a unique perspective. And again, I'm able to share some things with my Twitter followers that maybe aren't appropriate for morning television. Maybe the woman who's getting ready for her day doesn't want her kids to hear about these things. But folks that are seeking that information can find it on my Twitter feed. I was really sort of sterile when I talked about this accident on air. This is an SUV and a dump truck. It shut down US 301 at Stacy Road. This is how you avoid the crash. But what I really was thinking was horrific. It was a horrible accident. And somebody's life was taken that day. This is another example of the insight that I get from our helicopter. We heard that there was an accident in the neighborhood of Carrollwood in Tampa involving an overturned vehicle on Dale Mabry, so Captain Al was dispatched to take a look. But something we were hearing on our scanners in the newsroom that I didn't talk about on air was that extra support was being called in to help with upset witnesses at the scene. So I had Captain Al take a look, and I'll never forget what he saw. My heart's breaking right now as I'm watching two young men console each other at the side of the crash on Dale Mabry and Stall. One guy was sitting on the curb like this, and the other guy walks up to him, put his hand on his shoulder, and the guy just sunk further. The road was closed for about 3 or 4 hours. People were ticked off. They were detoured. But those guys are going to remember April 12th forever because their life was changed by just a really bad accident. It's not all morbid, I swear. One morning, Captain Al saw this little hot rod zipping across one of our Bay Area bridges, and we realized that it was part of the movie shoot for the Spring Breakers movie. That's a really crappy picture, and I understand that, but I put hashtag Selena Gomez. I got so many hits off of hashtag Selena Gomez. In fact, one of my followers went and got a picture with her. My apologies to Jessica Hopper for including a celebrity picture here. Now I'm moving from just my traffic resources to using the entire staff at ABC Action News. This was a traffic story that turned into a news story. Reporter Don Germaze took this shot of a train that collided with a fuel tanker truck, and all they could do was let the fire burn. One of our photojournalists captured this shot on his way across the Howard Franklin one morning into work. High winds toppled that tractor trailer on top of another vehicle that morning. And then this was a story of a hazmat situation that shut down the roadway that we really learned that it was more of a story because Captain Al flew over it and he saw a guy walk up to the scene and start jumping and flailing around and pulled his pants off. He had on plaid boxers. Well, it turns out that that guy had stepped in acid at the spill. That's when we realized, wow, there's something more to this accident. And so you can see the hazmat guys showed up, and it actually turned into a news story also. Sometimes on my traffic feed, I will share news stories that I think could impact a larger area. In this case, Tampa police officers were shot and killed, and SWAT was looking throughout a large swath of East Tampa for the suspects or the people of interest, persons of interest, so I shared their mugshots. I'll also share great stories from other news stations, even if they are direct competitors. In the case of this, this is the ABC affiliate in Sarasota, which actually some viewers in Tampa have access to that station. But that's a great shot of a car that crashed into the unconditional surrender statue in Sarasota. I'll also search if I know there's a big traffic story going on. I'll search, see if it's impacting anyone. And in this case, this story or this picture was actually sent to most of the local media of this witness to this accident on I-4. But I don't think there's any better way to really know what's going on except from the people that are there witnessing it. Bert said that everyone is a reporter, maybe not a journalist, but everybody can be a part of this and sharing the story. Last Friday, a major brush fire shut down a portion of I-4 near Orlando on the Friday before Memorial Day. So you can bet there were pictures out the wazoo from there. So I just searched Orlando fire and retweeted out some of the photos from the scene. Now we're getting to the point where I'm actually able to use my little group of reporters out there that follow me at Tampa Bay Traffic and integrate their information into my traffic reports. I am really into Twitter. At Tampa Bay Traffic, and I did get a tweet from Dan in St. Pete. He said, we have some fog here, South St. Pete, US 19 and 38th Avenue South. Certainly makes sense. This is a live picture here, I-275 and 54th Avenue South. A lot of times my followers will actually tip me off to information or let me know what's happening in their neighborhood. I got a lot of tweets actually this morning from people talking about flooding in South Tampa. This was actually from another flooding event. If you get 3 drops of rain, South Tampa floods. It just happens. But this guy sent me a bunch of pictures one morning. I had a lot of tweets one morning about why is the Veterans Expressway so slow? Miss Destructo, Amber had this problem this morning, that the Veterans Expressway was jammed up. It's always jammed up. But one morning it was especially bad. Terrell Hopkins knew why. There was an alligator on the Veterans Expressway. That's not something I would have been able to tell on myself because, or know myself because there weren't any accidents there. I'd been tweeting about this overturned tractor trailer on State Road 54, but I didn't have any details or visuals until Cheeky Sweetie tweeted me this picture and she was stuck. Sometimes tweets turn into news stories. A guy tweeted me on a Saturday morning saying that someone had slammed into the Havana Diner in Tampa, and it turned into our top story, that 6 p.m. newscast. I also have people asking me a lot of questions. What's the best route to get where I'm going? How long is it going to take me? So this guy, do you have a fancy drive time thingamaflop that can calculate 275 Fowler to the airport? Oh, but I do have access to traffic information, plus I just kind of know how long that takes. So I said, slow right now between I-4 and the Tampa exit, thanks to an earlier crash. I'm going to go with 20 to 25 minutes. Let me know if I'm right. Oh, yeah. And a lot of times people will tweet me about non-traffic issues, but there was one morning where you could just smell smoke throughout the Bay Area. Someone tweeted me from Northwest Tampa, also from Palm Harbor, which, if you're not familiar with the Tampa Bay area, is completely on the other side of the bay. That gave me the opportunity to share a story that we were actually working on. Excuse the cheesy wipe, but I had to. If you smell smoke, you're not imagining things. It's smoke from fires in Northeast Florida. And then I let them know that we were following up on it at ABC Action News, and the Forestry Service was telling us there were 95 active fires. So again, a news story, but that's what people were talking about that morning. A lot of times people learn too late to check my tweets, feeling like an idiot for not checking my tweets from Tampa Bay traffic this morning, 45-minute delay. Garnered a response from someone who said, rookie move. And this is what I had tweeted earlier.
Your good friend Mayor said, don't take the Howard Franklin people. And because there's the accident on the Tampa side. And the delay extends all the way to the St. Pete side.
There's actually more to that video, so you can find me on YouTube. The reason why I was shooting that, it goes on for about a minute. I had said in the studio, I said, you know what? I guarantee you people are going to start backing off the bridge, because that's what always happens. And 3 minutes later, that's what people start doing. They back down the entrance ramps. They back off until FHP, Florida Highway Patrol, stops them. And now we're moving into actually taking action and trying to make a difference for more than just one person at a time. West Chase is a neighborhood in Tampa, and one morning I saw a bunch of tweets from people about it's extra slow there. I don't know about you, but I know in the morning it takes me 25 minutes to get from my house to work. I plan on that. When something changes, that's a major bummer for my day, and that's what was happening. So I responded to one of them. I said, do you know what specific intersection you're having the trouble with? So he let me know exactly where the problem was. I promised I'd look into it, but by the next morning, we were still having issues in that area. His commute had almost doubled from 25 minutes to 44 minutes. And I also got a tweet saying whatever traffic light issue was happening in West Chase, well, it's still happening today. I tweeted her back, and I'm like, trust me, I'm working on it. What I had done was contacted both the City of Tampa and the Hillsborough County Public Works Departments, found out who's in charge of the traffic signals there, told them which problem we were having and could they go out and take a look at it. They said, yes, we'll take a look at it. And then by the next morning, a normal amount of traffic this morning in West Chase. I have to think it's because of at Tampa Bay traffic. Whatever you did, my 23-minute normal commute has been restored. So it's about being able to take action for people. It wasn't a big deal. I just contacted these two people in charge, said, hey, can you take a look at it? But it's something I knew I could do. I had access to these people, and I knew who to go to for information. So here's my roadmap, I guess. I know Tampa Bay traffic is a really niche kind of thing, or niche kind of thing. But when you go to at Tampa Bay traffic, 95% of what you see on there outside of me tweeting about TEDx Poynter is going to be traffic related. I specifically unlinked my work Facebook page from my traffic page or my Twitter account because I was finding that if I post about an accident on my Facebook page, facebook.com/Tampa Bay traffic, people could care less. Don't care about the bridge, whatever. If I post a picture of my cat, they go bananas. But people on Twitter do not care about my cat, so I unlinked the two pages. Be a trusted resource. I want people to know I'm there for them. If they ask me a question, I'm going to do my best to respond to them. I want to engage with them. I want to give them information to help them out. I don't want to just be a source of information. I want to be something that they can rely on to help them. That first picture you saw was an accident just the other day on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. That's my accident on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Be yourself. One of the tips today was be occasionally funny. And, you know, I try to be. Traffic is serious. There's a lot of bad stuff that happens, but I also think that my feed has my voice with it, and I'm goofy, and shout out to one of my fellow traffic competitors who does a great job as well over on Bay News 9. And finally, seek followers. I don't just wait for people to come to me. I'll actually go on and search Tampa traffic and find out what people are complaining about, and I'll respond to them. I'll say, hey, you know what, I'm really sorry you got stuck. Follow me, I'll help you out. Or next time you're heading that way, send me a tweet. I'll let you know if there's any problems on the roads, and I'll try to help you the best I can. And that's at Tampa Bay Traffic.